How you guys doing? This is Daris D. McKinney. I'm your host of Individual Perspective Podcast. Individual Perspective Podcast is where your truth is the truth. Okay? Okay. Now, these two gentlemen, I actually follow these guys and listen to these guys. And it's been for years too. Tommy Sotomayor, he's been doing this stuff for probably a few decades. I think Anton is the same. He's been kind of doing this since 2010 or stuff like that too. So, they obviously they probably been doing this um I don't know what's going on, but it sounds like the historical value of each party is not being respected. So, sometimes I don't know what's going on because I listen to them, and sometimes I'm about 2 months or 2 weeks behind and stuff, or months behind it and stuff. And I told myself, because I somewhat heard like underhanded, or not underhanded, but like kind of sidebar conversations about each other on each other's platform, but I really haven't dug into what they're saying about each other because I'm kind of saying, okay, it's just another social influencers spiking in the algorithm, and somebody's kind of aggressive saying, hey, this guy's getting my numbers. I don't look, I know I probably crossed the line by saying that, but look, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So Tommy Sotomayor, I think, as we speak, he's doing the episode, and it pinged on my notifications because, like I said, I listened to him that he was doing a show about Anton Daniels, and I'm like, God, I listen to Anton Daniels every day, and when I'm working and I'm doing graphics and or special effects or sound mixing or whatever I'm doing, sometimes I listen to him as the program is rendering or whatever I'm designing, or if I'm designing a website or an app or whatever I'm doing. I kind of use that stuff to kind of have my brain going in the audio world while I'm visually doing something. But anyway, I said, okay, let me go see what's going on. I kind of seen that Anton posted something 10 hours ago, probably part of the Millionaire Morning Show. It was like a 28-minute clip or something 10 hours ago. So I said, okay, he's addressing it. So that's what we're going to start with. If I have to chase it down, even going into Tommy's stuff, I'll do that, because obviously I think he had a couple weeks ago, it looks like he commented on Anton. It was like a 2-hour show or something like that. So we have to go to that. We'll go to that. But I told myself, let me come in and see what's going on here, and we commentate. I haven't watched it yet. I know a lot of podcasters say, oh, well, we're kind of reacting to this at the same time, and I haven't seen it yet, and they technically watch, skim, do it, and all that stuff, but technically I don't know what's up here. I don't know what's about to be said or anything, but I'm going to react to it as we go along. I'm using a different software than they are. They use like a lot of StreamYard, Ecamm, all that stuff like that. Me, I'm in some big boy software like Wirecast and different stuff like that. So anyway, let me kind of put the thing on screen, and we can try to jump straight into it, and let's see how it goes. Okay. Maybe I did mess up by moving that. Maybe I shouldn't have moved it. I think okay, let's just do this. Okay. I'm gonna start it from the beginning.
Yeah, I heard he streams on Wormble. All right, let me share my screen really quickly. Because I said I'm not even going to look at this. I'm going to just watch it in real time, and I'm going to see what the sentiment is.
Like Latif on week 7.
I'll give you an example. Let's say hypothetically. Okay, let me give y'all some context. I always like to check in with the people that came up under me. So I put a lot of people on, a whole lot of people on in this space. And a lot of people have gotten their inspiration. A lot of people got their motion, or a lot of people just got their ideas from me. So that's not uncommon. I'm the big homie, similar to what I was talking to y'all about. I'm the big homie. I'm the inspiration. I'm the person that also give advice. And so I check in with the people that, came in up under me or whatever. And Fatty is Fight Club alum. Him, Ali, it's a lot of people that I connected with that are doing well, and they trying to build their platforms, and they doing what it is that they do. And admittedly, they'll admit it to you and tell you that, okay, I checked in, I got this, and so this is the reason that I'm doing it. So occasionally I'll tap in, and if I see it's not too much going on, I'll check on their streams, or I'll even jump on a panel for like 10, 15 minutes, and then I'm back to work because, that's just what you're supposed to do. You're always supposed to check in on the people that you got good energy for. So that's the logic behind this, right? That's the logic behind me pulling up and kicking it with Fatty. All right. So this is apparently Tommy reacting to me having a conversation with Fatty. And Fatty asked me a series of questions. I guess him and Tommy Sotomayor have been beefing, or they've been going back and forth. Don't really know what that is, whatever. So Fatty asked me a series of questions with regard to Tommy, because apparently Tommy is feeling some type of way, and he keeps calling me out. So I'm going to go ahead and address this one time for all, and then hopefully he can get some insight so that he can feel a little bit differently, because I don't want no problems. I don't want no beef. I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? But let's get to it.
Luxury vinyl flooring has never been more affordable with Refloor, where you get the lowest flooring prices guaranteed.
I hate the YouTube commercial stuff.
I'm
Really
sitting
do.
on a panel that I'm not usually on, because I don't really even do anything, no panels at all. But let's say hypothetically that I'm sitting on a panel when someone.
That is a beautiful thing you just said. If Anton was all about success and the things he said, and I see you, Jason, I'm gonna let you up here in a second, and anybody else that want to come, I'll let you guys up here as well. If Anton was really a success, he would not waste his time having this low IQ conversation. And as a matter of fact, I've been on Lapeef a few times. So how could Anton say he don't know me when I've been on there when they were small and he was there?
Okay, so Tommy is on this crusade and this campaign to say, Anton know me, why is he acting like he don't know me? Because Fatty asked me a question and said, what's going on with you and Tommy? And I said, I don't know him. Now, there's a difference between knowing of somebody and being familiar with somebody and actually knowing them. Here's the context. I'm going to talk directly to you, Tommy, since you want to ask the questions, and I'm going to give you some clarification. I know of you. I have never developed or built a personal relationship with you. I have never had a conversation with you. I have never interviewed you. I have never emailed you. I've never actually talked to you personally, okay? I can be familiar with a lot of people, but it doesn't mean that I know them. I'm in a place right now to where, oh yeah, I know who you are. I have an idea of pretty much a lot of what you talk about and what you do. I have Fresh's number. I have Myron's number. I have Brian's number. I have several different athletes' number. I have Charleston's number. I have a personal relationship with them. I know them in real life. I kick it with them in real life. I have conversations with them in real life. Do I know of you? Of course I know of you. Do I know you? I don't know you. I have never had a conversation with you. So much so to where he's mentioning Lapeef and he's saying, yep, I was on a panel on Lapeef a couple different times and Anton was there. That's true. But guess what? He's never talked to me. JR, who was my partner in the Lapeef network at the time that I was over there, JR is the person that did all of the recruiting. He found all of the people, similarly to how Q does all of the recruiting, and she finds everybody that appears on a Monday night show. My responsibilities over there were completely different from his responsibilities. Part of his responsibilities is to gather the talent to have conversations on the platform. So I showed up to talk on a platform. I did not show up and recruit you to come on the platform. And I'm gonna get into that in a minute of why I haven't recruited you or did an interview with you or worked with you. I'm gonna address that shortly. But for whatever reason, he wants to really get this visibility to say, how don't he know me? How do he know me? Yes, I know of you, right? But I do not know you in real life. Okay, so let's address this live stream. Brooklyn Kennedy says, hypocrite Mark Hill said the same about you, bozo. But here's the difference. Mark Lamont Hill and his team reached out to me to do an interview, which is one of the reasons why I actually showed the receipts for that. I have never reached out to Tommy to have a personal conversation. I turned Mark Lamont Hill and his team down when they were reaching out to me to do an interview. So if you say that, if Mark Lamont Hill volunteers his opinion and says, I don't even know who that is, who is he? Who is he? Well, that would be hypocritical, because why are you reaching out to me to talk to me? Or at the very least, why is your team reaching out to me versus me saying I don't know you because I.
And okay, and I want to kind of address that. Obviously, this is a status and interaction that him and Tommy is having, because he's right about all that. Yeah, that is how Anton moves. If he wants to have a personal interaction with you or relationship with you, or even if you guys burnt bridges later or something, at least he's kind of like interested in your work and everything, he's gonna reach out to you, because you kind of like want to interview people that are very relativeness to culture and everything like that. And I kind of seen him do this a lot. That's why I even interview somebody like Charleston Heston. Really. Charleston White, but technically there's something going on here, because I'm thinking, have Anton ever listened to Tommy? Because he's been in the podcasting world so long, and you would think that he would probably have heard some of his conversation and his interviews, his interaction with black women and all kind of stuff, and been intrigued by it as just even a content, a person that reacts to a lot of content. Tommy got some like classics out there, and I can't see why it wouldn't have been interesting to Anton. But I guess now that they're saying that on this Lapeef show, I have never watched that. I think it was probably where it was a show that Anton had, and then he left to build his own platform. Excuse me. He left to build his own platform, and I really haven't dug into it. I only kind of probably listened to it, or I won't even say I listened to it. I probably seen a clip or something from it in reference to something he maybe said on his show. But I obviously I gotta go do a deeper dive on the Lapeef show, or whatever that is, where Anton comes from. But obviously they had enough interaction where Anton was able to observe Tommy's temperament, or his thing, you know what I mean, his character, or whatever you want to say, or how he podcasts this. And it was something that he kind of just said, I'm not interested in that going forward. And so he kind of divided. It was never that, like, Anton has a lot of people that he kind of brought up, like he said, through his platform, they are very interesting characters that he keeps connecting with them. He keeps them connected because they are entertaining, or they may have the it factor. And if your it factor is Tommy, you would think that you would want him to come onto your show, because right now I think Anton has Howard Stern's king of all blacks. He calls himself Shampoo, but he's king of all black, and he's from Howard Stern's show. And that's a whole nother situation. I got to do a deep podcast about Howard Stern. It's so sad. I mean, I used to love Howard Stern. I mean, I spent about 10, 20 grand just to support his migration over to Sirius. But man, he became so disrespectful to the First Amendment because his illogical point of view, his status or wanting to be favorable to celebrities in the higher social class, that he just completely spit all over the First Amendment. And I was like, dude, you made your career from the First Amendment. Look, I know I'm getting sidetracked, but look, so that even for the king of all black to be on one of Anton's platforms, his show's platform, I think that's interesting because that means that like Anton has a great ear and great nose for talent. You know what I mean? So for him not to like it only will make his show his stuff bigger, and he don't need Tommy. He's got his own thing. He's successful. I would never put success like Anton don't need anybody. He's got his own thing, you know, and he's one of the people that I actually want them to build a platform enough to have a 24-hour or at least enough content for people to source entertainment, source the news and everything. I need people to move away from the media organizations of all the ones, all the cable news providers, all that stuff, because I think they have felt the American people. That's a whole nother conversation. But in the midst of all this, I know that so obviously there's something personally making Anton detach himself from even socially interacting with a person like Tommy. And yes, maybe because Tommy he has dipped his head in porn and some of the most degenerate, craziest stuff in the world. But at the same time, he's just an enigma. Tommy is a very enigma. He's just an interesting substance of the world, of the culture. And I think I'm a big fan, and I'm interested in his commentary. Yes, he pisses me off on some of the stuff he says because it's 1 foot in and 1 foot out, but it's the same way with Anton. It's 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not 100% black and white. They create these weird gray areas in their commentary, and sometimes it's just so weird to me, but they are extremely successful. So I could be like looking at it wrong, and they could be actually right. And sorry about that. I know that I'm doing a little bit of a modulation on this mic, and actually I got it mixed right, but I guess I'm too close to it. So I'm sorry about that. So let's go back to it.
I've never had a personal conversation with you. So when we having this conversation, I want y'all to put y'all thinking hats on. I want you to look at the context and understand, look for understanding instead of looking to debate. When you have understanding, you can start to filter through to get the context as to why somebody is saying something. If somebody reaches out to me and then later says, well, wait a minute, I don't even know who that is. Who is this guy? It's a difference between knowing who somebody is and knowing them. All right? So it's a false equivalent. It's not the same. It doesn't line up. Do I know who he is? Let me do it real slow for the people in the back. Do I know who he is? Yes. Do I know him personally? No. Mark Lamont Hill specifically, in your example, did he know who I was? Yes. Did he lie about knowing who I was? He later admitted, yeah, I know who he was, whatever, so on and so forth. And it was very difficult for him to debate otherwise, because why is his team reaching out to me in order to get an interview? Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so now that we put that part to rest, and again, this is no hate. I'm not dissing. I don't have anything negative about him whatsoever. All right. I don't have anything negative whatsoever, but I'm just giving insight. Okay. All right. Well, listen, keep your $2. We cool. We cool. Keep your $2. And we're going to go ahead and fix that right now. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you for the $4. All right. Now, let's continue to get on with it. I'm going to just address a couple different things so we can put this to rest.
This is the stupidest crap in the world. But again, they say this to try and irritate you. Niggas.
No, I'm not beefing with anybody. I'm just giving some clarification because for whatever reason, he feels as though he needs to be acknowledged.
The whole job is to try and irritate you. I get it.
Comes at me. I wouldn't care.
I want y'all to be very clear. Stop asking, am I beefing with him? I'm not beefing with him. I have never had.
Yeah, they're not beef. Well, Tommy's kind of beefing. Anton's kind of, he's almost, even how he conducts himself, because I think one of his panelists, like one of his top panelists, somebody that's he's grooming and it's special to him and his platform. She, I think she interviewed Tommy, or was not interviewed, or maybe it was on Fatty's show, and he didn't like that she was sourcing herself out there to his enemies. You know what I mean? So I think he's kind of trying to not get into this. Why? Because probably he feels the work that Tommy has done with his podcast is valuable for men and how we move and how we should kind of conduct ourselves with each other, or even mindset ourselves. And he doesn't want to be a negative to the overall picture and value of what Tommy brings to the table. So he's kind of like, even if he dislikes him or has a distance toward his content or his commentary or who he is as a person, and maybe an unchristian like persona or something like that, he may kind of want to keep a distance from him. And but he actually don't come on air to agitate him, you know what I mean? But Tommy, he's a person about all these people like Fresh and Fit and Forever Podcast or a lot of these different people, even like all of these guys that call themselves talking about the women, the relationships and all that stuff. Tommy feels like all of y'all need to pay some kind of respect to me, because some of the terminologies, even that what's his name? What's his name? That's Steven Samuels? Is it Steven Samuels? I haven't even said his name in so long. I'm kind of Samuel. Oh man, look at that, man. I can forget his name. He's a very important. What's his name? See, that's so funny. Stephen Samuels is a guy that I used to go to school with in grade school, and like middle school to grade school and going into high school, and he was like, and that's still in my head. What is this podcaster's name? Samuel. That's wow. Man, that I can't even remember his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm sure y'all yell at the screen like, hey man, how you not know his name? Kevin Samuels. That's it. Okay. Kevin Samuels. Okay. So, Kevin, Tommy feels like Kevin Samuel owes tribute to him because of some of his talking points come from Tommy. That's how he feels. So when people don't pay homage to him, or at least somewhat admits that some of their commentary may have came from his podcasting on relationships and black culture and everything like that, because he did it when it wasn't so fashionable to do it, you know what I mean? So he may feel that they should pay homage to him. And maybe I think the growth of Anton and his and how he carries himself and how he kind of commands and ambassador himself into the relationship culture and the manosphere culture or whatever you want to say. He probably feels that he should pay homage to him, but truthfully, he's a man. He can pay homage to who he wants to, you know what I mean, or not, you know. So I think that's the underlying beef here. Okay, let's go back in it.
A conversation, nor have I had a disagreement with somebody to beef with them. I'm not beefing with him. I'm giving clarification because apparently he feels some type of way, and he has a misunderstanding of what it means to know somebody versus know of somebody.
But you
I
should.
don't have the oomph in me to fight back, I guess.
But that's what I'm saying. You're too comfortable, and it's fine. Hey,
comfortable.
I want that comfortable.
I'm not comfortable. I am more driven than I've ever been before. Like literally. I am more I'm in the studio right now and it's 10:51 p.m.
No.
Eastern on a
There's
Saturday
not
night.
There's not that type of comfortable.
I am absolutely driven more than I've ever been before.
Anton, it's not that type of comfortable. Is like when you're on the penthouse and like there's some studio on Patreon. I was like, but it's difficult for us to.
You're gonna clap back. No, I don't listen. It wasn't about him. It was leveraging the visibility to continue to siphon.
It was about siphon we do, because that's what
I want to get to the thick of it. I don't want to just
somebody tell me if I'm lying. He did with Mark Lamont Hill. And then he just tried to get people to watch him. That is literally what he did with Mark Lamont Hill.
Okay, so let me give some more clarification. Me and Mark Lamont Hill are not the same because I'm much more visible, I'm much bigger, and I do way more views than Mark Lamont Hill could ever dream of in his lifetime. All right. So when we're saying that, it wasn't Mark Lamont Hill that brought the visibility, it was Joe Budden. Mark Lamont Hill was a worker, okay? Mark Lamont Hill is working for Joe Budden's network. Mark Lamont Hill and bringing me up on Joe Budden's network is meaningful. Leveraging Mark Lamont Hill so that I can use Joe Budden is a completely different conversation than that's exactly what he did for Mark Lamont Hill. It's not the same. It's not the same. Again, if I wanted to leverage Mark Lamont Hill, then I would have just did the interview when they reached out to me to go on the platform. I wasn't interested because it didn't serve me. I don't give a fuck about Mark Lamont Hill. And that's no shot at Mark Lamont Hill. I hope he continue to be successful and I hope he do whatever it is that he do.
Yeah, the podcast world is very passive aggressive. It is a shot at Mark Lamont Hill because you're saying you don't give a fuck about him. You get what I'm saying? But like people just don't say what they mean and stuff like that, and as they say stuff, they try to package it in a way where they can pull their stuff back from it. You know, if a relationship grows later, that's what podcasters and celebrities and entertainment people do. They kind of leave room to rehabilitate their relationship. You know what I mean? And I don't cross the line if I'm gonna come back from it. If I'm gonna want a relationship later, I don't want to even put myself in a situation where I will cross the line and say something that's indefinite about a person that I won't be able to kind of say to them in their face or be able to stand 10 toes on it when I meet them. If we have a future endeavor, it kind of holds tight to whatever I said about them. So it's kind of a passive aggressive thing. And if you got a negative situation with, and I think it's justifiable too, Mark Lamont Hill, then I'm pretty sure it's justifiable. But in some way, the entertainment world always leave room for some collaboration after a dissension or a separation or an opposition of it. But that's why I'm saying it's like even like Tommy trying to analyze what Anton is saying and why like Tommy would I don't know. See, I gotta go do a deep dive because I don't know if Anton said something about Tommy that pissed him off and that was disrespectful, and then Tommy just been off. He been on it and responding ever since. You get what I'm saying? So I want to know like why is Tommy being so negative towards him if he hasn't specifically said anything about him except I don't know him. Don't be so offended by him saying I don't know him where you go to the place where you're disrespecting him and you're calling him out and you create a enemy or opposition to him. Obviously enemy is too strong of a word because it's like notorious big. What's beef? Beef is when you when you gotta roll deep. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. One more time. So I'm not saying they got beef because that's what's real beef. But for some reason to come on air and keep bad mouthing Anton and vice versa and stuff like that. But I like I said, I'm ignorant to the foundation. I gotta find out what is the foundation beef. You get what I'm saying? And Anton, he's such a guy that does he's very plain speak and blunt, but for sometimes you'll hear him like commentate in a negative way about something, but it's very underhanded. So I'm just trying to see like, okay, like what's the foundation here? So that's what I'm trying to source out here. I don't want to be wrong, and I'm probably put myself in a lot of situation here by put myself in a situation where interacting with these guys may be a problem for me, which I don't want it to be, because I haven't done anything but react to their video. But at the same time, I'm a man, they're a man, and whatever's got to happen, but I'm trying to keep myself neutral and objective to the analysis of this conversation. But I'm telling you guys this out of context of historical value to why are they kind of stumping at each other. You know what I mean? Let's go back into it.
But I don't look at Mark Lamont Hill as an equal. I look at Mark Lamont Hill as a stepping stone. You see what I'm saying? So again, I'm doing this to provide clarification. I'm not doing this to diss. I'm just giving insight.
And then he just said out of his own mouth, that's what he did against an NBA player. So why are they talking?
Again, we're not talking about Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin is a stepping stone because
You see the context now? See, I have to go to the episode that he's scrubbing through. He's kind of cutting off the context. Why? Because one thing about Anton Daniels is he would not utilize unnecessary time. So for him, he's cutting and he's skipping through things that obviously he's reviewed this video and he has context of this video. So he's kind of jumping to places where he kind of knows where the timestamp is or whatever to kind of make the point that he wants to make. And he's not letting you hear the whole context of this interaction and this relationship. So it makes me have to go to Tommy Sotomayor's episode that he's referencing, this actual episode that he's referencing, in order to get the context of some of the things that he's saying in his conversation. Because obviously, like I said, podcasters, they one of the things about even the previous episodes that I just kind of got through doing is I'm telling you guys, don't be influenced. And I call it the influence war, you versus them, is because you like people that are not Denzel Washington, Spike Lee, James Cameron, Whitney Houston, or Drake, or some kind of big Michael Jackson superstardom type of thing, or Versace or Dolce Gabbana or whoever, these big, magnificent or mega personalities and celebrities and people of doing, Elon Musk and Donald Trump and all that stuff like that, big historical value people, we have given the psychosis of value to people that are just kind of going on a Zoom and they're talking to each other. The videos, the cameras is not so far from what the average person can get their hands on for $300 to $200 here, $1,500 computer, an iPhone, and all that stuff, and you could pretty much do every single thing that they do. So we allow these people to put themselves in a place where we give them extreme prominence, where they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And the way that they took that power is almost like how the CIA does with the American people. The tactics that we use to make citizens in other countries turn against their government, that's how our government intelligence agency use those tactics against us to turn against our government or Trump. I won't say our government. They technically used it so we could be totally against Trump. That's how much value Trump has in the bigger picture of things, that the most strong, educated, powerful, financial backing people put all their energy into devaluing him. That's a whole nother situation. But this is what our podcasters did to us from 2019, 2020 up to about 2023. That's when they turned the guns on us. Okay? So within that process, this is when it was kind of, where most of the things they do, how they carry themselves, how they structure they media, how they communicate to us, is very passive aggressive to make us zombies for them. That we give value to them, and we take because we can't multitask, we take value from ourselves to give to them. So I know that's a whole nother conversation. I know I might get grilled, or I don't know if they ever do a reaction video to me or anything like that, but that's how I see it. And this situation is like, in order to get true context to this conversation, you got to go deeper dive. And now I got to go to Tommy Sotomayor's episode to give context to what he's saying about the show, or what Tommy's commentary is at this moment, because he's scrubbing through it and we can't hear the context. Maybe I need to look at the Millionaire Morning Show, because maybe he cut this down. So maybe I need to go to the Millionaire Morning Show if that's what this clip is coming from. And that's maybe what it was. Maybe he went through the whole conversation and he cut it from what the Millionaire Morning Show has, and he kind of let this whole conversation go. So maybe I'll go to the Millionaire Morning Show, see if that's in full context, because right now it's just scrubbing and it's almost like a manipulation of perspective. So let's see.
I'll have a relationship with Gilbert Arenas, and of course I'll already have a relationship with Kwame Brown. I like Gil's Arena because Gil's Arena does numbers. I don't care about Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin was a one-time stepping stone so that you can continue to do more content and leverage the relationships that you have that are much higher than that. And so it's strategy. And maybe, you can get a little bit of insight so that you can learn how to move appropriately when it comes to who your targets are and who your opponents are, because otherwise it seems like you're just punching in the wind.
Yeah, and I know this is gonna make it longer because I gotta commentate on this. He's saying that Tommy is punching in the wind because he's very much an attack dog. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand, Tommy didn't get banned from Twitter and YouTube and all the platforms because he's just a reckless podcaster or somebody that's just ridiculous. he went against the standards of the platform because they decided to attack his freedom of speech. Anton don't mess up the bag. That's his number one rule is don't mess up the bag. So Anton may not confront or take on the fights of the industry or the society because it might mess up his money. It might mess up the bag, what he calls the bag. You know what I'm saying? That's money, you know? So to Tommy will actually mess up his bag. You know what I mean? He would probably do some wild stuff or be very blunt and honest with whatever's going on in the social dynamics of humanity, and he might mess up that bag. You get what I'm saying? So he's actually a total opposition to Anton's personality and his business model and his business strategy and how he does. But don't make it like, I'm saying this to Anton, don't make it like he don't know business. He absolutely understands business. He actually understands stock. He understands all that stuff. I'm telling you because I know both of you guys, and I'm letting you know just in case you didn't know. He knows his money. He knows how to make money. He knows how to give himself a economic standing that he ain't poor after doing all this stuff. You know what I mean? But the fight that he has decided to go and take on, stand on a platform is not that valuable to him that he won't say what he wanted, say what he was meant to, that he feels that he needs to say. That may be bad business and bad, like, leveraging your appearance and all that other stuff, but he's not like that. He's the freedom fighter. That's why I said one of the things that is heartbroken about the last I'll say 3 to 5 years is you watched a lot of freedom fighters compromise themselves. Even Candace Owens, she's a powerful person and was really good and really had the right mindset. But when she went on to Daily Wire, she compromised herself. Now she switched sides, and now the Daily Wire and what she was attracted to for her business and her stature, jumping from TPUSA to Daily Wire, from Daily Wire to her own platform, which she should have always been on her own platform when she left the TPUSA. But she compromised herself because there was never a time where Ben Shapiro was a good person. He was never a good person. He was an elitist and a scumbag to good humanity. He's a total elitist and something to not be followed. He has no logical honor and integrity that shapes him. So when she went to that platform, the Daily Wire, she compromised herself. And all you got to do is stick with Ben Shapiro long enough, and you'll find out this ain't a place you want to be. How he thinks, what he supports, and the things that he do is wild disrespectful to individuality. Totally disrespectful to individuality. So she compromised herself with that, and that's why I brought that up to say that sometimes a path of truth and honesty is not favorable to the social media platforms, and you'll get demonetized and banned from majority all of them. That's an allergic reaction to Anton Daniels. He is not going to do that to his platforms. He's not going to take on a side or a conversation or an argument that might hurt his bag, mess up his economics, mess up his platform. So he's conscious of what is the threshold line, what would cross over into that world. And so his opposition at this moment is a person that, no, he has put himself on the line to be demonetized, to be banned. And I don't want you to think that he did it out of complete ignorance. It's just principle of truth and what he felt like should be he should be able to communicate, and that was the cost for him to do that. I know I'm probably putting myself in a bad situation here. Let's go.
And every one of them, and this is what I've been telling y'all, this is why I don't like niggas. When they friend do something,
He talking about Fatty now.
when
so
they
I'm not getting
friend
into
do
that.
something, he's scared of you. He's scared of you, Anton. He's scared of you, Anton. That's why he don't say your name, Anton. Lamont Hill don't want to smoke, Anton. Tommy said something about Anton. Anton ain't never said nothing about you, Tommy. You just grasping at straws. He don't want to talk to you because you low level.
So let me give some insight into why I've never individually had a conversation with Tommy Sotomayor. All right. And this is not something that I would usually say publicly,
Yeah, I'm
but
glad
I'm going to say it today. I'm going to give you.
I'm glad he's saying this because I want to know what the foundation is here, and that's what I was asking. So, okay, this is cool. I'm glad he's been honest and open. Let's go.
Y'all the inside scoop on why I have never had a conversation, nor have I ever invited him up on a platform. Because YouTube does not like Tommy Sotomayor. It's not personal. It's not because he's not a good content creator. I wouldn't know. I don't watch his show because I don't watch anything on Rumble. I only watch stuff that's on YouTube, Netflix, and whatever, right? I don't watch Kick. I don't watch Twitch. I watch none of that, all right? The reason why I don't do business with Tommy Sotomayor is because for me, Tommy Sotomayor is bad for business when it comes to YouTube.
What I tell you? Look, I told you guys I haven't watched this, so this is interesting to what I just got through saying. Oh, wow, this is, I told y'all, under no circumstance you mess up the bag with Anton. And that's his number one rule. Number one rule when you think of Anton Daniels is, and what he trains you and actually gives you insight on, and what he actually makes you understand, even if you was a member of his Bag Chaser Patreon, is don't mess up the bag. So that he's saying this, yeah, false. Yeah. So see, the problem with this is that you got to take a side. You got to take a side. That's why I always say there's no gray areas in life, really. It's really black and white. There's no gray areas. But maybe economically we do a bad thing to ourselves by not allowing gray areas to be into our lives. Because that's the area where you don't really have to stand for anything fully. You get what I'm saying? But I'll let him say this. And look, and I don't want you to take offense to what I'm saying, Anton, but I want to give people a kind of context to how you are and how Tommy is, because I do think that needs to be communicated, even in your rhetoric and his rhetoric. Both sides need to be analyzed to how each other, and what's the conflict there. The conflict is that you're polar opposites. And it's the reason why I kind of detach myself from Howard Stern, because you either for freedom of speech or you not. You get what I'm saying? And he presented himself as ultimately 100% a driver for freedom of speech. And when it came financially or socially valuable to him to not be for freedom of speech, he actually gave destruction to freedom of speech, the First Amendment. So in that situation, he decided, I am not for freedom of speech. I'm for the freedom of speech that allows for me to have what I value. And when freedom of speech go against what I don't value, I will be totally against freedom of speech. That's what Howard Stern did. So now, in this context of Anton Daniels versus Tommy Sotomayor, you have these two crazy polar opposite people that for freedom of speech, what is your threshold line? And I think that's what's coming here, and that is a black and white thing. And in this situation, you are admitting in a way that I'm against freedom of speech if it messes up my bag. And I totally understand that 100%. I'm coming into enlightenment, listening to your shows and all that stuff. So I kind of understand that, even because you got to make a choice. And Tommy is he's successful, and he's got plenty of money and everything like that. He got plenty of stock. He got plenty of cars. He got plenty of houses. He could do whatever he wanted, real estate and all the other stuff. So economically, he did pretty decent. Also, being radical in the freedom of speech. So that's the clash.
You do not need to be liked by everybody. You need to choose your friends and your enemies carefully.
Yeah, I agree.
It's one thing to get demonetized. It's another thing if YouTube is saying, we don't want you on the platform at all. It's the reason why I've never reached out to Andrew Tate. It's the reason why I haven't had conversations with a lot of people. And it's not personal to Tommy, right? It's that I'm not going to.
See, and that's why, and Anton is so huge. That's my problem right there. I got to admit this. Because you can't use that as an example when Patrick Bet David has actually had a success with interviewing Andrew Tate. They even got Nick Fortes to come on their show and air it on YouTube. You get what I'm saying? And Candace Owens has. You know what I mean? And it's major people have brought some very Andrew Tate does numbers all over YouTube on other people's shows, and they didn't get demonetized for it or anything. But like I said, Anton is about his bag, and he was not let you compromise his bag. And I 100%, as a businessman, I 100% understand why he's like that. But that ain't no excuse when it comes to freedom of speech. So it's either that those people are more favorable to whatever communication that you have with YouTube and the content agents that's behind the scenes and on the platforms, and they actually communicate, or they got staff that communicates with them better than what you're doing. So, because I'm telling you, people are making money, millions of dollars off of interviewing Andrew Tate, and very wild, radical people that got banned from YouTube. But I understand he's a scary person, just like Nick Fortes, just like Andrew Tate. I understand. And I understand that you don't even want to have anything mess up your stuff because it's the moneymaker. I totally get it. But I'm just saying there's context to the bigger picture. So don't say that. It's a choice that you make because in the midst of it all, he's not like a person that you bring in on to be a member of your show. But at the same time, you are right. I don't know how YouTube would attack your show if you bring him or bring certain people on your platform. They might focus a certain amount of energy to banning you or demonetizing you that you don't even want to deal with, that Candace Owens and other people have dealt with or even communicating. Because maybe Patrick Bet David, he may call YouTube or communicate with YouTube. I want to do an interview with Andrew Tate. I do not want you guys to demonetize my platform. Is there any guidelines that you guys want me to have when I'm interviewing him to make it that you don't demonetize because I have the right to interview him and I want to interview him. So what's the common ground that I can have to interview this man or interview these people on my platform or bring them onto my platform? So that may be how Patrick Bet David or Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly and all them do. You're doing it a different way, or you don't even want to engage in that way. And I totally understand. You're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. I'm not even going to mess around and try to make this make sense to you. But I totally get what you're saying. But I'm just letting you know that it's a freedom of speech thing, and it's how much are we fighting for the First Amendment, even against YouTube. And I know look, I'll commentate if I get some bite back from even what I'm saying right now.
Risk, jeopardize, and other people can. If Fatty want to do it, he can. If other platforms want to do it, they can. But if I find out that a person, even if somebody on my team recruited a person that YouTube is saying we don't even want on the platform, then I don't fuck with you, because I am not going to ever risk my good standing, because I am on here to make money. I am not on here to make people feel good. I'm not on here to go against the system. I'm not on here to be a masquerade for truth and righteousness. I don't give a fuck about that. My goal is to have conversations in which I add value to the people that support me, love me, and the bag chasers. And I am here to get money. And so unless he ever gets back on YouTube or get in YouTube's good graces and standings, then I will not be having conversations with him, nor will I be having conversations with anybody else that is a brand risk or that could possibly group me in the same group that ultimately is the bad guys list. Now, you may disagree with that.
Now that's a lot. That's a lot to say that. You gotta stand for something, and that's what he stands for. And I am not gonna tell this man that he's wrong for saying that and believing that and moving like that. It has made him extremely successful. His mindset, how he conducts his business, how he conducts his podcast, and everything like that. It's not a wrong thing. And look, I'm telling you, I have learned that being a successful person, most likely and most probable, if you look at things the way that Anton look at things, if you look at things the way that Tommy looks at things, you might be going through some hard times until you break through the ceiling or some kind of social level of communication. Something I don't know. I don't think it's favorable, or success may be probable for you to move like Andrew Tate and Tommy Sotomayor and other people like that. I think finding, like, okay, for YouTube, I say YouTube is not a freedom of speech platform. I say that, but I don't think you could get banned for saying that. But I don't know. Maybe I will get banned, or maybe they demonetize you, or not even allow for people to even see that my show is aired, and that's why I'm not able to get viewership. So maybe that's a situation that I probably put myself in, and I just don't know. I have no idea yet, but I'll find out and everything like that. But at the same time, I can't, like, Anton Daniels is a YouTube man. He's doing good business with them, and they are a partner of his, of how he runs his company. And that's the Anton Daniels, AntonDaniel.com. That world is his company, and YouTube is a vital partner to him, and he's not going to compromise that relationship. So, like I said, it is a black and white thing. And now you see he has chose black or white. He has chose a side. So that's what I just wanted to communicate. You're going to choose a side. You could be on your way up or you could be on your way down, but you're going up or down. That's the black and white. So people got to stop articulating to people that you're not going to make a choice and you could live in a gray area. No, you don't. You have picked a side. Freedom of speech or no freedom of speech. You get a freedom of speech or like speech that is allowed. So that's be no freedom of speech. It's not a freedom of speech. It's open to interpretation of the enforcer. So he has picked, it's up for interpretation of the enforcer. So he's not for freedom of speech if it compromises his bag, meaning that the way that he looks at what compromises his bag is what YouTube looks at as there's no freedom of speech, that we is certain speech we don't allow even in America's First Amendment rights. We don't allow it on this platform. So you got to pick a side, and that's what he picked. And I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm really not. I just feels like, I do want to acknowledge a side was picked. Freedom of speech or not. You get what I'm saying? So let's go.
You may say, oh, I don't like that, or I don't agree with this, or you should do this or whatever, but I don't have a personal relationship with you, so you can't put your standards on me as an individual that likes to create content.
I agree.
And that monetizes and make millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars off of this shit every single month.
See? That's a lot. I don't blame you. I'm not gonna fight
I'm no
you on
stranger to dealing with people with controversy. But I am a stranger to dealing with people that I believe personally, because I am the CEO of my life, and I am a person that is going to make an executive decision to protect the money for all of the other people that I pay. Whether it be my editors, whether it be other people that I live stream with, whether it be my Room 9 people or whatever it is, whoever it is that I do business with, I have to understand if it is good for business or if it's bad for business. So I have to make that decision because I have to live and die with whatever it is that happens to me from a consequence perspective.
I understand. I understand.
It has nothing to do with him at all. It has everything to do with business. I wish him the best. I hope that he does well. I hope that he is richer than rich, and I don't know what his money look like, nor do I care. I am not here to count his money. I am having a conversation and telling you that it is not good business sense for me as a content creator that has over 1.6, 1.7 million subscribers across multiple different platforms on here. It does not make sense for me to invite somebody onto my platform that I don't believe long-term adds value into what it is that I'm building. So when people sit here and say, Anton, is it beef? I say, what beef? How can I beef with somebody that I have never done business with? I don't have a personal relationship with. I don't have any animosity with. I'm not even sure that I would disagree with him on talking points. It's too many people that depend on me. I got too many people that work for me. I got too many people that is saying, hey, man, we need to build this, we need to build that or whatever. It ain't about you. It's not. I would love to have conversations with people and explore what it is that they're about and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I don't think that it would be conducive for what it is that I'm building. That's it.
I think he's right. And look, and I told you guys in the previous episode too, you have to make sure that things are, people that's around you, people you interact with, are conducive to what you're trying to do. They could either be supportive of it, or they won't, or they can not get in the way. That's the only options of the people that you should have around you. People that help you get to what you're trying to do, or be a contributor to the goal and task you're trying to get accomplished, or they get the hell out the way and they're there in support of it as a spectator, in support of what you're doing. But if they give opposition to it, if they slow you down, if they hinder you in any way, you got to detach for long-term purposes. And that's just the way that he looks at what he's doing on the podcast. No, YouTube is for free. Speech is not valuable to him, to what he's trying to get accomplished. Freedom of speech is not valuable to him, and this not only him. This is most people. One thing I found out when Trump became president, or when he started to run for president, that people hate their American freedoms. They hate it. People like the outcome of certain things that happen in America, but they hate their freedoms. They hate the Constitution. They hate all the rights that they have. And if you put them in the right scenario and make them have to make a judgment, you'll see that they're actually against individuality. And it's more of an elitist thing. Am I in a good place, or am I in a good status or a good environment that I can reap the benefit of this that I want to reap the benefit of? But universally, nah. If it go against my bottom line, or what I'm trying to do, or what I'm trying to have, or where I'm trying to go, then, I'll shift and shape to what needs to happen at that time when it needs to happen. That's how most successful and most people are. That's how they are. Now, I'm trying to get most people to be like that, because it's great outcome from it. There's no outcome with this principle stuff, this integrity, this honor stuff. It's like you got to have a bendable honor. You have to have a bendable integrity. It's hard for me, and I have took some hits to my life because of it. But I'm living enough to tell you that we kind of probably more should go towards the bag chasers and anti-Daniel's thought process, because it's got better outcome. So, I know I'm saying a lot.
That's it. That's all. I'm not really sure how much there is to explain. Let's see if it's anything else for us to address here.
Wix gives you the freedom to tell your story.
Sorry about this advertisement.
If all the things that Fatty has tried to say about me today, they existed the first time he brought me on the show. They existed when you gave me that $500.
I don't care about him. I'm never going to see him in real life. It doesn't matter to me. I'm in my bubble. I'm chilling. But when I see an opportunity to market myself, then I'm going to take the opportunity to market myself. That's it.
Damn.
Yes. And that's fair.
Simple. It's not any.
Video and made an apology to me right then and said, well, then I apologize to Tommy for making the video about you. And
this is between him and Fatty. This ain't got nothing to do with me.
Not personal. It's that I pick and choose when I can leverage the visibility to do something. I don't actually have any animosity towards anybody.
And this is why in 2026,
it's shorter than me too. This is crazy. Dummy got the OnlyFans page. Then you over there subscribe to OnlyFans people. I don't understand it.
because there's like a fighter on the back.
Yeah, I'm about to
get there and has morals that will sit there and say, I'm not doing that. That's not fair. Tommy, Fatty sounds Brazilian. If you want to piss him off, piss off to me. He looked like a 5'9".
Congratulations.
I'm always kicking. I'm going to evolve.
It is definitely impossible he doesn't know me. Fatty cut up so many of my damn clips on his page that it looked like my page. That is crazy. I'm telling you, y'all hear the lies that are being told? You don't know me. You don't consume me, but you always watching him and Ali. And Fatty and Ali had me all over their page. This is insane.
I already addressed this, so there's no point in me rehashing the same talking point.
Our biggest champion and supporter. So
Yes, and I appreciate you. And I think you should bring back, instead of the movie Sundays, You should be.
Thank you. They had a video. I want all of y'all to understand this. These two people had a video called "I Declared War Against Anton." He didn't even.
What two people? Is he talking about Fatty and Ali? Because I've never made any video that said that I declare war against anything Tommy has ever said.
Even play what I said about Anton in the video. What? Let me ask y'all something. Wouldn't most people do that? That was the end of the video. Don't most people, y'all tell me if I'm lying, if you brought somebody on to talk about what somebody else said, wouldn't you let them hear what was said? Wouldn't you let the audience hear what was said?
He didn't bring me on to talk about anything. I just pulled up because he had a smoke show. And so I pulled up to show him some love like I always do. And then he was able to chop up the clip and then get a lot of views and hopefully make a decent amount of money as a result of me having a conversation. Because I'm not tripping about anything, anybody asking me anything they want.
This is the quickest way to go from AI beginner to AI fluent in 2026. Watch.
See what I'm saying?
You say, hey.
Context and having objective analysis is a hard thing. It's a hard thing. And I was hoping that podcasters and social influencers will kind of almost give a course correction to what the media and the news anchors and all the different news platform, cable news and all that stuff, and Washington Post and New York Times and all these people and stuff. And I was hoping that like podcasters and social influencers would give a course correction to truth and logic analysis. But everything is always very skewed to driving perception and favorability towards the person's persona. That's why I always say one of the heartbreaking things about like a Jay-Z book or Oprah Winfrey book or even somebody like Tyler Perry and Spike Lee and all these black stars and stuff, Michael Jordan and all of them, is they don't really tell the people like it is, in that you gotta be extremely dogmatic to what outcome you want. You gotta be selfish and extremely dogmatic. And by the time you find that out, you're in your late 30s, early 40s, or your 40s going into your 50s, and then you put it into motion and hopefully you can make something happen. That's what happens to the average human being in America. Because people won't just come out there and say, you have to be self-centered, selfish, and dogmatic to what you want to happen. And it makes you selfish and horrible and mean sometimes to other people because what they perceive what you did was selfish and self-centered. And most of these people are like that, you know what I mean? And maybe after they accomplish their goal and they get to a certain economic structure or success rate, they then open themselves up to other people. And that's most likely what most people have to do. You have to sustain yourself in order to help somebody else. And they just won't come out and say that. That's my biggest problem.
Here's what he said about you. pH balance. Let me see where it's at. I would have to find it. First, I got Jason who wants to come and talk to me.
First off, this load of crap, short motherfucker, Antoine, said something about you a long time ago with Kevin Samuels. You know, Kevin Samuels because Kevin Samuels was on the Peace Network and Kevin was good for going to other people's channels. See, Kevin was smart. I'm not going to dirty up my channel and talk about other people on my platform, but he'll go to other platforms.
I don't get into the whole Kevin Samuels thing, so I'm guessing that this is the end of this conversation.
Yeah, it's too much context to be given in this. But like I said, and I want you guys to understand why I'm even doing a commentary to this, because I think these two gentlemen, it's an enigma type of situation. And why I keep saying that, because there's a great value for Anton Daniels and how he moves and how he thinks and how he communicates the culture and everything like that. I think it's phenomenal and must need it. And I only want him to be bigger, and I want his platform to be huge. What I want from Anton and the purpose I have for Anton is for him to take over Fox News or anything that's like, I need him to be so successful that he destroys Fox News and be valuable for conservatives and people that got different things that's going on their platform, and they're very entertaining. So that means I gotta somehow support him enough that he could drive about 3 to 5 million people per hour, 24 hours a day. That's what he's got to do. He's got to have 15 to 16 hours every single day that are successful to 4 million people. If he's able to do that, that gives him a guaranteed power over any network. So that means I need him to have 16 exterior people or shows or people that do shows on the platform that accumulates up to 16 hours. Now, some shows he does that's 2 to 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours, so that sucks up that much time. So if he can do like the total of 16 hours a day, every single day, for at least 5 to 6 days a week, I can get him, or he can get himself to a place where we can walk away from Fox News. Because Fox News, even if I'm extremely disappointed how they reported the Russia and Ukraine, it was propaganda. It's not objective. It's not reporting. They keep sourcing other people platforms like Washington Post, New York Times, and then they do segments on it and they do reports on it and they give commentary on it, and it's not valid and it's not accurate and it's not truthful because it's another person's perspective, it's another news organization perspective of what happened, and that's not fair to your viewers. Your viewers need to know what's the facts, what's the truth, unmercifully. And for me, because I'm never going to get that from any of these news networks or outlets, I'm in high support of the podcasters and social influencers that do commentary and reaction videos and all that. I'm 100% for them to build their platforms for 15 to 16 hours a day, new content a day, to be valuable to the watchers so they can consume all their time on your platform. If they're watching media, if they turn on media, they turn on your platform and go to your platform for news, go to your platform for different topics of everyday functionality of what's going on, and they do not source the cable news or the media, the conglomerate 3 to 4 studios that make propaganda media. That's what I want from Anton Daniels, and why he's running himself as I won't hurt the bag and I won't dirty up the platform of YouTube and my relationship with YouTube. Well, then I need you to make YouTube valuable to take over from people needing to actually watch cable news. That's how I'm looking at it in the bigger picture of things. I know it's crazy, but this is what I do. I do media, I do movies, I do all that stuff. My head can run a company, a big studio. So anyway, and then you got somebody that's like Tommy, that he's so wild and he does some crazy stuff. And like I told you, I don't agree with any of them fully, because sometimes they compromise their own point of view on certain things. They're very fickle and they flip-flop on a lot of stuff. They're not 100% consistent with objectivity. So they all kind of take a side. They both are guilty of that. But I want Tommy to represent what he's doing, and he's representing an aggressive play to freedom of speech. And I don't want him to not be there in representation of that. So he had his place to what he's doing too. So when I seen these guys having an opposition to each other, they can have an opposition forever, really. And I still think you can still get the value from both of them that you're getting to this day. But I kind of seen like, okay, we all got to acknowledge that it's coming to a head, and they are confronting each other and verbalizing each other's names now and calling each other out or taking the time to explain their opposition. So I hope you guys understand that. I'm gonna let Anton in this what he's saying. So give me a second.
I don't even talk about Kevin Samuels or bring him up anymore because I actually know his mother and the daughter, and so I don't include that in the part of the conversation because Kevin is not here to defend himself. So I just let that be. I'll let everybody else continue to have conversations about Kev. Kev's legacy is Kev's legacy. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even know who that guy was at all. But as far as I'm concerned, that's where it ends. That's where it ends. I'm a bag chaser, and so I'm focused on the bread, and I'm focused on adding value to my people. I don't have any animosity towards him whatsoever. I hope that he is successful in whatever his endeavors are, and I hope that life treats him well. All right? So, God bless you. I hope that everything goes well, and I hope that you also have a better understanding on what my position is, why I don't entertain it. Oh, and one other thing that I had that somebody had told me that he said that I blocked him from being able to come up on my platform and have a conversation. I don't remember ever timing you out or blocking you at all. If a moderator did something because they thought that you were trolling, then that's one thing. And again, I'm not familiar with that. Also, on top of that, it could be maybe I thought somebody was imitating you. It could be anything or whatever. But I don't have any animosity towards you. Nobody is running. Nobody is dodging. I don't think that you're saying anything that is mind-blowing. Oh, and one last thing.
Customize and save with liberty.
Boy, the ads.
I've never, ever in life, not one time, have I ever, I put it on my father's grave. I swear to God on everything. I will put my salvation on the line. I put it on my alive 17-year-old daughter's life. I have never, ever in my life, ever watched your personal live streams. I have never watched your personal videos. I have never sat there and put up on any computer, tablet, laptop, or phone device. I have never in my life watched anything that you have done individually, ever. Not one time. Not one time have I ever sat and watched your live stream. This is the longest that I've ever sat there and watched you on a solo mission. And I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying this to diss. I'm saying that I am not your target audience. I've never watched you a day in my life. Not.
And I'm telling you, it's not because he hasn't came across something that was Tommy Sotomayor. It could have been him on Fresh and Fit. You get what I'm saying? So he has come across Tommy on another platform, doing something in another sphere. But also, he is 100% against Rumble. He would not support an anti-YouTube platform. He's made that clear. He may not say it, but he made that 100% clear. Rumble is an anti-YouTube platform, and he would not give it the time of day. And if majority, everything that's on Tommy Sotomayor is doing is on Rumble, then most likely he ain't even got because he'll never turn on that app. He'll never watch anything on that platform. So it's easy for him not to see your content individually. But if somebody interviewed you, he may have came across it. You got to listen to his wording, his actual wording. And in additional to that, he might actually purposely avoid giving any support to Tommy Sotomayor. And I understand that. I just want to keep in context to what his communication is. Because even how blunt he's being, he still is able, because this is the new way of communication, you guys, with the social influencers and the podcasters and everything, is they do these kind of comments that are not blunt comments. Okay, because even me, I'm articulating myself where I don't insult or put myself in bad standing with Anton or anybody else that may watch this, that may be fans or the bag chasers or anything like that. I don't want to offend them. I don't want to offend Anton. I told you that I want him to be the place people come 16 hours a day, every single day, to support his news, his media. I need him to fight against people needing to watch media and cable news and all the other stuff. He's got some work to do. He got a lot of work to do. I'm here to support if I can. If you want me, in a way. But at the same time, it's, I don't have any following, and like I said, I'm hoping that I get some supporters. Please like, follow, subscribe. Give me comments, whatever you guys need to do, please do that. I got to get another light. My light went out. Okay. I got to put another battery in it. I could plug it up, but I always just do the batteries because most of the time it works for an hour or so, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I got plenty of lights and stuff, but yeah, that's another story. But anyway, so be careful what he's saying, but I believe every single thing he's saying. I agree. He may not ever need to watch any individual independent thing that Tommy Sotomayor may do because it's on Rumble, and he's not gonna give favoritism to Rumble because it's an anti or opposition platform to YouTube, and YouTube has done too much for him. The relationship is too strong, and he wants and he needs YouTube to actually acknowledge that, and I think they should, because like I said, my goal is for, when I look at everybody's platform, I don't care about Patrick Bet-David. I don't care about none of that stuff. They not fighting the fight. But I think Anton has the ability to have something that's pretty human and is pretty every man's gravitation, that he can make a platform that makes people not have to watch Fox News and all the other stuff. And I'm fighting for his platform to be something that people can see it as an option to not have to watch all the cable news and all the other stuff, and geared himself to the stuff that he's doing 16 hours a day on 6 days a week. I know that sounds crazy. Go ahead.
One time. I have been on YouTube since, and I'm pretty sure you've been on YouTube longer than me. Maybe 2012? 2012? I have never, ever, not one time in my entire fucking life, ever, and I put that on my mama's life. If I'm lying, God strike me down right now. I have never, ever watched one video, live stream of you doing anything solo. Anything, not one time. So if
you keep that solo, that's the trick. Watch you do solo. I'm sure he watched episodes with him on Fresh and Fit or something else like that. I'm pretty sure a debate or something that he was on the other person's platform. You doing solo, and obviously it's easy for him not to watch you because he's not a supporter of Rumble, and that will be the only place that he will be able to see you. Nobody's going to no damn OnlyFans to watch Tommy Sotomayor stuff. Nobody's going to Fanzy to watch Tommy Sotomayor stuff or Kick or whatever the hell other places that Tommy is at. Nobody's gonna do that. Only place you'll ever technically watch Tommy will be on YouTube or Rumble, and he is not a supporter of Rumble because it's an anti or opposition to YouTube, and YouTube is his bread and butter and where he's claiming his loyalty to. So it's easy for him to make this communication because I can see that being true.
You are sitting there thinking, Tommy Sotomayor, that I am biting your style. Even when Fatty did the live stream and he showed the ether beat coming up, that's somebody else that chopped up my content and put that behind it. I didn't even know that you did something like that because I've never ever watched a live stream. I don't watch Rumble. So when I say never, I mean never have I ever watched any of your content before in my fucking life.
And I understand that but the terminology of all this stuff, for me, the way that I communicate about a lot of the red pill stuff or manosphere stuff or relationship and all that other stuff like that, it's commentary that I've heard from Tommy to Kevin Samuels to Fresh and Fit to what's his name? Bald-headed gentleman. Oh God, I hate that I'm forgetting his name. Really. I'm sorry. Marquette. I forgot his name. And Anton Daniels. And so I may say things that you guys have said or terminology that you guys use because it's in the it's the culture and it's part of the language that you guys have communicated, and it becomes how everybody was say a communication, or they may have certain verbiage that comes from you guys, but most of that verbiage all goes back to Tommy Sotomayor and Kevin Samuels. It all routes back to them. And not even just them. I forgot the gentleman's name. He was a disc jockey, white guy. And a lot of the way that they talk comes from him. You know what I mean? So the pioneers, you kind of almost have to go back to the disc jockey days in Tommy Sotomayor in 2008 to root it back to where the terminologies come from. That's where it comes from. You may not know a lot of the verbiage and a lot of the communication that you say. It comes from Tommy Sotomayor, and so, like I said, it's a disc jockey, a white guy. I can't remember. He was talking about this after his divorce and all that stuff. And a lot of his verbiage on women and relationships come from him and Tommy Sotomayor and certain people, and all the ways that we communicate comes from that foundation in 2008, 2009 way of communicating and stuff. It all roots back to that. So you may not know that a lot of the ways that you say things and your terminology you have of things come from that. But also everything about the human dialect comes from past experiences of people that have communicated this in books and speeches and analyzation and theoretical science, psychological research and all the other stuff. So, but that's a whole nother conversation.
So if you think that somebody is stealing your style,
I vape, but I don't need to vape, you know? I only do it when my friends do it.
Sorry about these commercials, y'all. Oh, that was the end of it. Wow. So yeah, so it must be longer on the Millionaire Morning Show. Let me see. And this was the original actual episode. And I think we're gonna need to do a part 2 to this because I think I'm an hour and a half in. So I might have to play this and rewind it to the beginning to where so yeah, we're gonna do the whole Tommy Sotomayor reaction video on this because the context of it and everything. But I did Anton just to give a introduction to it, because that was something that was posted today and everything like that. So I'm gonna do the second part of this. I know this is a lot, you know. Yeah, I'm telling you, boy, it's something. These guys are down each other's throat. But look, you guys. I hope I gave you some kind of understanding of that. I gotta get another battery for the light. So sorry about my face not being well lit. I'm gonna end this show with this, and we're gonna come back for the second part of this, where we're gonna analyze Tommy's commentary on it. And I think this video was. It says Tommy addresses this fat foreigner and his Anton Daniels beef for Christmas. Okay, and I guess this was done on Christmas. Okay, so we're gonna do a commentary on it, or a reaction video on it. It's 2 hours and 3 minutes, so I don't know if we gotta watch the whole 2 hours and 3 minutes, but we'll try to skim through it and do what we gotta do. But hey guys, I'll see you in a few. Okay, so thanks for joining us. My name is Daris D. McKinney. I'm your host of Individual Perspective Podcast. I would like for you guys to like, subscribe, and follow. Whatever you gotta do, please support the platform, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, and here we go.